Hey guys, this is James, a non-professional, back with another episode of Draw, and today we're doing Superman and Supergirl. Flying up so high that they're literally in space. Anyways, today's episode is going to be a focus on attitude. Attitude with regards to how you approach drawing and how you feel about your own art and how you feel about looking at other people's arts. Before we get into it, let's establish this first stage. It is the rough stage. So let's keep these pencils loose, keep them light, have some fun with it, throw some concepts on the stage. We're not making anything spectacular here. We're just trying to make, a starting off point, concepts that we can just sort of build on until we have something pretty competent. Anyways, this is actually Supergirl 3.0, man. I drew her, I erased her, drew her, erased her, the whole thing. I mean, I just started from scratch with her over and over again because it was difficult for me. And that's the attitude that I was talking about. This is the attitude that you have when you approach drawing. Instead of thinking that you got to get it right the first time, instead of thinking that you're so competent, you're so talented that you shouldn't have to do it over and over and over again. Look at your drawing and determine whether or not it is what it should be. And if it's not, then just don't be afraid to just erase it. Start all over again. It's all right. That Superman that I did there, that was actually Superman 2.0. I did a first one and he was a little bit bulkier and I just didn't like the way it looked. So, I erased him entirely and I drew this one. You don't see it in the edit because I didn't want you guys watch me draw Superman 2 times and then Supergirl 3 times. But anyways, we're through the pencils. I just blew right through that. We're in the inks now. Let's make those lines super tight and let's make those details a little bit more definitive, or absolutely definitive actually, because this is the final product before we go to colors, which I've been doing colors a lot lately. So you're going to get the 4-step process with all these new videos that I'm doing, because I plan on doing colors from here on out just to practice them. That's the second part of the attitude that I want to talk to you about with regards to drawing, is that when you look at your own art, don't consider yourself, done learning. Don't look at it and think, oh man, it doesn't get any better than this. It can always be better. I know it sounds, cliche to say that, you can always get better, you can always improve, but the best way I know to keep this attitude, this sort of humble attitude that you're never as good as you ought to be, is you look at other people's art. People that are way more competent than you are, have been doing it for a lot longer than you are, and it will humble you to the point where it actually breaks you down a little, and that's good. It's okay. It's a good thing, because it forces you to try to be better. It forces you to move in directions that you never considered before, and it forces you to refine certain things that you thought were spectacular, and then you look at other people do it better and you're just like, ah. And let me tell you, it's hard to look at other people's art. It actually at times discourages you from wanting to draw more, because you're like, man, I'm never going to reach that competency. And when you look at your own art and you think, oh, this is great, and then you look at someone else's art, like a Michael Turner or a J. Scott Campbell or a Jim Lee, and then or Greg Capullo, and then you look at it and you're like, oh man, my stuff just isn't that good. It's an okay perspective to have. It's not that your artwork is terrible. It's that you can always improve upon it. You can always move in directions that you never thought you would before. You can try new things, and it's a good attitude to have when you're doing art, any type of art, or any endeavor for that matter. When you get to a point where you think that you've got it all, and there's some points where people will actually tell you, man, it doesn't get any better than this. It's something you got to get out of your head if you want to continue to improve in your craft with regards to drawing comic book art. Like this piece here, I think is a pretty competent piece. I like it a lot. But then, I was looking at a lot of J. Scott. I was looking at a lot of Michael Turner's stuff and thinking to myself, man, her jawline, it just isn't as good looking as Michael Turner's jawline. Her eyes don't look as good. He had like this perfect doe eyes to when he drew Supergirl, and there's some things that I like, more. Like I didn't make her as muscular as Michael Turner generally does, and I think that I like that more. But again, force yourself to look at other people's art and learn from it, even though it's a difficult thing. Oftentimes, my wife does photography and I do comic book art, and oftentimes we'll look at greater people and just look at our art and it's like, man, I suck at this. There's no way I'm ever going to be good at this. And you might think that discourages us from moving on, but it doesn't. What it does is actually compels us to look at where we've gone wrong and then correct that. And let me tell you, colors, since I've been doing it, has been a very humbling experience, man. I'm learning incrementally, and I think things are getting better. But I look at other people, the way they color, and they have like these light sources that create entire brand new color palettes that encompass the entire scene. It'll be like shades of red or shades of blue, and I've yet to delve into that. Right now, I did learn how to use the background and the colors and stuff like that to draw more attention to the subject, which is obviously Supergirl and Superman there. So everything, if you notice the stars, they sort of swirl into Superman's form there. It kind of draws your attention, or draws your eyes toward the subject matter. And then I put that gigantic, very light colored moon in the background so that the contrast between their cape and their blue colors, because they already have fair skin, and in Supergirl already has very bright hair. So I needed something even lighter than that bright hair in order to establish a sort of contrast in the background there. I could have just continued with the dark sky, and that would have been a pretty significant contrast. But what I wanted was I wanted to establish a setting of where they're actually at, so that their flight seems a little bit more grand than just flying in the sky above a city. They're actually up in space now, and I needed that really white background in order to bring out that red, that dark red, and that semi-dark red that sort of stands in front of it. Again, I'm learning colors, and colors are a bit of an uphill battle for me, but I think I'm appreciating the journey. I like moving forward, and I'm glad I decided to get into colors, as reluctant as I was for such a long time. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you learned some things. Always remember your 3 Ps: persistence, patience, perseverance. That's how you mature in any endeavor. Hey guys, if you like my content, please like or comment below. And if you want regular updates, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching.